Hey Charger Engineer, it's time to take your roadmap and plot your course or courses for your first fall semester at UAH. Here are some things to keep in mind as you watch this video. Students must be enrolled for at least 12 credit hours for full-time status. UAH uses a block tuition model, so tuition is the same for 12 credit hours to 18 credit hours. The College of Engineering recommends 14 to 17 hours your first semester. Remember, to finish in 4 years, you will need an average of 16 hours per semester for 8 semesters. Some courses are not offered every semester. EH 103 and FYE 101E are only offered in the spring, for example, and most courses have prerequisite chains. Science courses require laboratory co-requisites. For example, if you take General Chemistry 1, Chemistry 121, you must also register for a lab section, Chemistry 125, simultaneously. Have a backup plan for your Charger Foundation courses. Those classes fill up and you might need options. To get started, you need to get all your materials together. Your 4-year plan based on your placement, a blank schedule to draft your fall courses, a list of credit you have earned. You should have done this in Module 1. A couple of highlighters, your major flowchart, and the HSBHFA Charger Foundation's requirements. You can find all of these forms in this module. On your 4-year plan, highlight the credit you have earned in one color. For the purposes of this video, the sample student has AP credit for Calculus A and dual enrollment credit for psychology. Then highlight the remaining fall courses that you need to take in the other color. Now add the courses, highlighted in green for this example, to your blank schedule. This is the start of your list of fall classes. Next, you will need to make adjustments. In this example, the student will take the next math course in the calculus sequence. Thus, they will pull MA 172 or Calculus B back from the typical Year 1 spring semester to the Year 1 fall semester. There are other situations that will likely need to be adjusted. In this example, the student has 2 history classes via dual enrollment credit. This credit takes the place of 2 HSBHFA classes suggested in the Year 1 fall schedule. So what are the options for this student? Well, there are 4 other HSBS or HFA courses, a free elective, and a science elective for this student given their placement and their major. The student will need to pull at least 1 class from a future semester back to the Year 1 fall semester to be full-time. When making any adjustments like this, students must consider the prerequisites and semesters in which some courses are offered. This is where your major flowchart is useful. The flowchart shows the courses in order from Year 1 to Year 4, just like your 4-year plan, but with the prerequisite chains. The legend at the bottom of the flowchart will help identify the types of courses by color and will show the classes that are prerequisites, connected by solid lines, or prerequisites with concurrency, connected by dashed lines. For example, Calculus A is a prerequisite for Calculus B, which is a prerequisite for Calculus C, all connected by solid lines. So a student couldn't take Calculus C until they have completed Calculus B. However, Calculus A is a prerequisite with concurrency for CPE 211 and 211L, a computer programming course. You can see the dashed line connecting those 2 courses. This means that a student must either complete Calculus A before taking the computer programming course, or take both Calculus A and computer programming in the same semester. The flowchart will also indicate courses that are only offered in certain semesters. Courses whose titles are shaded in gray are only offered during that term, fall or spring. For example, FYE 101E is only offered in the spring term, so a student could not pull that class back to Year 1 fall term to adjust their schedule. After making adjustments, your schedule will look something like this. You will probably have 1 or 2 HSBS or HFA electives. Let's figure out what those courses should be. Remember the HSBS HFA requirements from the earlier video? Here's a reminder. Under HSBS, you need 3 courses. The first course is a history course. The second course is a non-history social behavioral science course. The third course can be history or social behavioral science and will depend on your sequence. You also need 3 HFA courses, the first one being literature, the second one being a fine arts, and the third could be literature, fine art, or one of the humanities electives, which is again based on your sequence course. Here's how you should go about choosing your specific classes. U.S. History requires sophomore status, and literature requires that the college writing requirements have been met. Most Year 1 students won't meet those requirements, so let's ignore those for now. This leaves the following options of history, social behavioral sciences, and fine arts categories. If you plan to use history as your sequence, you also have the humanities elective available to you as well. Then you will choose from your courses and add them to your list of classes. Let's look at an example student who is coming in with credit for U.S. History 1, HY 221, and U.S. History 2, HY 222, from the AP American History exam. The student has completed HY 221, which goes into the HSBS number 1 slot, and they can cross out that requirement. The student has completed HY 222, which goes into the HSBS number 3 slot, and they can cross out that requirement. This student still needs the HSBS number 2 and the HFA courses 1 through 3. So this student would choose from those courses and add them to their list of classes. Not sure what to take? Here's our advice. Choose a course from the list that meets your requirements, not your friends, not your roommates, yours. Choose a course that interests you. Don't pick something because you think it might be easy. Have at least a couple of courses in mind. Not every HSBS or HFA option works for every schedule, and some classes will fill up quickly. Now you should have a list of classes that looks something like this, and you are ready to register. Now, are you waiting on test scores or dual enrollment credit? Here's some advice. For math, you can only register for a math course based on your placement or prerequisites that have been received by the university. So register for that course until you get your scores. Once you have your scores, you should email your advisor in Canvas as soon as possible so they can help you register for the next math course in the sequence. So for example, if you are placed in MA 171 Calculus A, but are going to take the Calculus BC exam, you'll need to register for Calculus A until we get your scores. Let's say you're waiting on a course related to Charger Foundations. For example, you're waiting on a history or an English or a psychology course via an AP exam or some sort of dual enrollment credit. You should plan to register for a different category in the Charger Foundations. For example, if you're taking History 103 via dual enrollment and plan to take the AP Government exam, why not just take the HFA course number 2, your fine arts, this semester? That way there won't be any interference. For science, we strongly encourage you to stay with your cohort for science classes, specifically chemistry and physics 1. Staying with your cohort means that you will take classes with people that are starting this fall. So let's say you have credit for MA 171 Calculus A, and you're going to take MA 172 Calculus B in the fall. You have the prerequisites to take Physics 1 in the fall. Plan to go ahead and take Chemistry 121 in the fall and wait to take Physics 1 with your cohort. It'll be nice to have people that you're used to seeing all the time in class with you. Are you waiting on AP, IB, or dual enrollment credit for college writing? Let's say you're placed in EH 103 and have credit for EH 101 from the AP exam. There are no issues for fall. You'll plan to take EH 103 or EH 102 in the spring semester, and we'll be able to help you with that as a part of registration for spring. Or maybe you have dual enrollment credit for EH 101 and 102. You're done with college writing. You can pull back an HSBS or HFA course into those English courses or college writing courses. This is true for all English placements. So, what's next? Well, registration and Module 5. But first, let's make sure that we have done everything we need to in Module 4. First, review all the resources in this module. Check the fact pages, look at the forms, watch the videos at least a few times. It's really important to understand this step. Submit your list of fall courses in the Module 4 assignment. This is really important because an advisor will review it and let you know whether you're on the right track, whether you're taking something you already have credit for, or whether you need to make some other change. And as always, ask questions. Email your advisor from the Canvas course if you have them. Thanks for watching.